whispers, 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 whispers. ASMR. And today, I will be reading this article called 16 Random Facts About the Titanic That Will Send You Spiraling Down a Rabbit Hole. So this is my first request video, and I'm so happy that somebody requested such an interesting topic. And FYI, I'll be taking requests from the comments. I want to take your requests and read about things that would be interesting to you and to me. So as long as I'm interested, I am happy to take a fact, or article reading request. So without further ado, let's get straight to the facts. Number one. Number one. A first class ticket on the Titanic cost $2,560, which is more than $61,000 today. Wow, that's expensive. For the price of that ticket, passenger Charlotte Drake Carteza got a 3-room suite with 2 bedrooms and a sitting room, plus 2 wardrobe rooms and a bath. She also had a private 50-foot-long promenade deck. I bet there were some pretty nice views from there. Number two. There is an actual letter that was not only written the day the Titanic sank, but that also survived the tragedy. The letter, which was written by survivor Esther Hart, is printed on Titanic letterhead. Talks about how Hart and her daughter were both set to sing in a concert on board the ship tomorrow night. Oh, that's so sad. It's really cool how that survived. Number three. Let me do number 3 over here in your left ear. The violin that was being played as the Titanic sank was auctioned off in 2013 for $1.7 million. The auction house class passengers ate boiled hominy, I don't know what that is, grilled ox, kidneys and bacon, fried potatoes, buckwheat cakes, and more. There's this little sheet of paper that must be in a museum somewhere that rates all of that. Oh, there's more. Yeah. The and more is fried potatoes, Vienna and graham rolls, I don't know what that is, soda scones, maple syrup, coffee, tea. Number 5. And on April 12th, 1912, first class passengers ate halibut with shrimp sauce, fillets of duckling with green peas, caramel pudding, and more, and more, and more, and more, and more. Let me zoom in to see what else they had. Sirloin or beef horseradish, spring cabbage, boiled rice, spaghetti, something, salad, caramel pudding, pineapple royale, French ice cream. I wonder where all of these things are. I wonder if there's a Titanic museum to see all of these artifacts that survived the Titanic. Number six. The Titanic was equipped to carry approximately 64 lifeboats, but it only carried around 20. I wonder why that was. They should have carried more, obviously. This is what one of the ship's life preservers looked like. They look funny. They look like they're like brown sack material. They don't look very buoyant. It says it's actually the life preserver of Laura Mabel Fran Cadelli, a survivor of the Titanic disaster, and was signed by other survivors who shared her lifeboat. Oh, so maybe it did help. From the fact before about the violin playing as the ship sank, maybe it was like they filled up those 20 boats. And there were so many people on this ship, people were just like, okay, I might as well just have a good time and play the violin, as the ship sinks. And then I wonder how they found the violin. Interesting. Next fact. Number 8. Plunging into water as cold as the sea that Titanic passengers jumped into has been described as being stabbed everywhere simultaneously with 1,000 knives. I would never take a cruise like in Alaska, I guess for this exact reason. At least when you're taking a cruise in the Caribbean, yeah, you don't want to have your cruise ship sink in the Caribbean, but at least the water is not 2009s. Yeah, there might be some other issues. But at least you wouldn't have that frozen water. Number 9. Number 9, number 9, number 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Number 9. Milton Hershey of the Hershey chocolate fame was supposed to sail on the Titanic, but, because of business plans, he ended up getting on another ship that left earlier. I bet there's so many stories about people who were supposed to be on the ship that couldn't get on for whatever reason. Oh yes, it goes on to say, other notable people who almost boarded the ship include financier J.P. Morgan, that's random, 34-year-old multimillionaire Alfred Vanderbilt, who died 3 years later in the sinking of the Louisiana, I probably butchered that, and Pittsburgh steel baron Henry Clay Frick, who canceled his passage when his wife sprained her ankle. Yeah, no, I bet there's so many stories about people who are supposed to board the Titanic. That's like, another tragedy, 9/11. I'm from New Jersey, and I feel like there are people that I went to high school with that were like, my dad was supposed to go to work that day, but he didn't because of XYZ reason. My mom was supposed to do this, but she didn't for XYZ reason. Just those, like, 1 in a million stories. Back to the backs, 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 back to the backs. Number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10. The last survivor of the Titanic, Melvina Dean, died at age 97 in 2009. I wonder how, okay, yeah, it says, I was gonna say, I wonder how old she was. It says, Dean was the youngest of the ship's survivors and was only 9 weeks old when the ship sank. 9 weeks old? What is a 9-week-old doing on a cruise ship? Well, I would understand, like, trying to have the 9-week-old baby. 9 weeks. Oh my gosh. That's like 2 months old. Getting that baby on a lifeboat, that being very important. Wow. I'm glad that she lived all the way to 2009. Number 11, number 11, number 11, number 11, number 11, number 11, number 11. There was a gymnasium with cycle racing machines on board the ship. They have a picture here that I'll put up on the screen. It's funny, it's like an exercise bike. What does it say? Cycle racing, so you would race, I guess. No, this boat sounded like luxury. Peak luxury. Number 12. And there was also a swimming pool, which was located on the middle deck. The middle deck. Number 13. Violet. Jessop, a stewardess aboard the ship, is the only woman to survive both the sinking went back on a ship after that. I don't know if I would. Number 14, number 14, number 14, number 14, number 14, number 14. The documentary Titanic, The New Evidence, speculates that a fire might have contributed to the Titanic's sinking. The documentary claims that a 30-foot-long black streak in the photo above is evidence that a fire below decks in a coal bunker caused serious damage that weakened the ship's hull in the same area where the iceberg later struck the ship. Interesting fact. Number 15. The wealthiest passenger on board was John Jacob Astor IV, heir to the Astor family fortune. I'm not familiar with the Astor family. Is that like Astor Place in Manhattan? It says, although he did not survive, his pregnant wife, Madeline Talmadge Force, did. Oh, this is the last fact, 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 the last fact. Number 16, number 16, number 16. And finally, the wreckage of the Titanic wasn't discovered undersea until 1985. Wow, that's a long time. I wonder why they didn't find it before then. That was a quick article. That's a quickie, a quick article. Let's go down to the comments. Oh, this person says, fun fact. Fact. My great-great-great-grandmother had a third-class ticket for the Titanic and was going to head to America from Yugoslavia, but was one of the 8 or so people who were denied access on board because of overcrowding. Oh, they say lucky, or I wouldn't be here. Somebody commented, I've seen so many articles on the Titanic, but I never get sick of them. The tragedies of this ship are so fascinating to me. Somebody also said, my great-great-great-grandfather had a ticket to the Titanic as well. He got sick and wasn't able to board. This comment says, the owners of the Macy's department store at the time were on board the Titanic. Isidore and Ida Strauss died together after she was offered a spot in a lifeboat but would have to leave her husband of many years. She refused to leave her husband and died together. In the movie Titanic, as the ship finally plunges to the bottom, the elderly couple holding each Isidore and Ida, and a deleted scene shows the now iconic "Where You Go, I Go" scene. And then somebody replied, "That is so sad yet so romantic." That is sad, but it's like, I guess maybe because they were elderly, so it's kind of like she was probably also like, "I'm gonna stay here with my husband, but I also want to give up my seat for somebody younger," like that 9-week-old baby. Oh, somebody here says the Titanic Museum in Tennessee takes you through 4 hours, give or take, of pure fact bliss. It's a remarkable experience. That's cool. Maybe that's where some of those artifacts were from, that museum. Oh, somebody says Leo and Kate paid nursing home fees for the last survivor of the Titanic. And then somebody else said, "Is that true?" Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any of these facts that I read are true. I just read them because I think they're interesting. Okay, we've exhausted the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to the commenter for the request. I thought the facts were very interesting, and I hope they relaxed you, since the reading of the article was a little short. I will end this video with some mic scratching on this blanket and some light mouth sounds. Or I guess this isn't mouth sounds. This is tongue clicking. I was listening to some of my older videos, and I really must have done something with either iMovie or GarageBand, but I've been really trying to make the sound quality as best as possible. And then I also was listening to one where I was doing mic scratching while reading the facts. And I don't know, it really bothered me. I was like, get this mic scratching away from me. But maybe this sounds better. I got my nails done today, which was actually the first time getting them done since before the pandemic. I'd been painting them myself a little bit, but it was the first time I had gotten them done and went to a salon, and I got a French manicure, because my boyfriend likes French manicures, and our 5.5-year anniversary is this weekend. The nail technician was like, "Are you sure you want just a regular manicure and not a gel manicure? Like, it only lasts 4 days." And I was like, it's fine. I was like, "Not today. I don't want a gel manicure," because I literally hate French manicures. I don't hate them. This is like rubbing your stomach and your head at the same time. Trying to, or no wait, what is it? Tapping your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. I'm trying to mic scratch with one hand and tap with the other, and it's actually very difficult. Okay, I'm gonna stomp. I think I might have said this in my very first video, but I don't have a mic cover. Mic cover. So I'm using this blanket to cover the mic. And that's what you're hearing that I'm scratching. It's nice because it serves the double purpose of being a mic cover and being a blanket.